Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time,
you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with no cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that.
And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Reverse World. I almost forgot my name. I'm here with David 𝐁. Say hi, Dave.
Hey guys, how we doing?
They probably said they're doing great.
Thanks.
I always love in
guys.
YouTube videos when I watch a YouTube video and like of course like Peter McKinnon and all those people that they're just like, what's up everybody? And I have a workout video that my brother gave me to do stretches that I watch and I do for like 5 minutes before every workout now. And the guy's always like, what's up guys? All right, today we're gonna get into this and I'm like, why do you say what's up guys? Like,
yeah,
why the fuck are people, hey man, good to see you again. Fuck. Today is a morning roast. So Dave and I are playing a contest. The contest will be going live this month. We won't tell you anything else about it, but that should roll out here within the next few days. So we've been spending most of the last couple of days figuring that out and dialing in our sponsor for that and figuring out how this is going to be fun for everybody. So, of course, fucking Morning Roast typical episode is not going to be that. Instead, we are going to do a little group chat. Me and Dave have done this before. Where did we do it? Where did we do it the last time? We did a couple, didn't we? We did one in a hotel. We did one outside in Europe or something.
Yeah, we did one on IGTV in Germany. And then we did one that was like where we didn't really talk about anything. So let's just count it. Let's just hope this is the first one. Let's count this as the first one.
Yeah, we would like this to become like a formatted thing. We don't want to make it permanent yet because right now it's already so much work doing interviews and doing the morning roast on top of it. Recording a group chat would be pretty tough, but I think that we can get there eventually once we get moved into a space and all that shit. But for now, this is going to be kind of the group chat. So what we did was we just like went through the Black with No Cream Facebook group, the private Facebook group, and we looked at, different questions people were talking about. And Dave actually screenshotted one. It was from a while back, but I think it's a good topic for us to talk on. But first, before we do that, let's just say that you guys have been buying merch, and I really appreciate it. It's been cool to see where all this shit is shipping out to, all over the fucking world, which is nuts. And I'm appreciative to have a fucking loyal little squad repping the gear. And if you have not checked out the new merch, it is available. Shop BWNC.com. The hoodies, I don't know how many are left. It was a limited run, but there's not that many left, so you should snag one now if you want one. Doyle just sent me, the guy that runs the store, he was also on the podcast earlier on, he sent me a screenshot of the hoodies and they look nuts. The embroidered BWNC on the chest, you see that shit? Oh yeah, because I showed you the video.
Yeah, he sent it. The dude that reached out to me told me it was dope.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be. Anyway, ours are coming right now, so I can't wait to get it. And then we're gonna shoot some promo and shit with it. But you should pick one up. We got long sleeve, we got short sleeves, we got pink shirt, we got hats, we got a new mug, which I also just saw the final product of the mug, and it looks fire as fuck. So pick that shit up. Anyway, we're gonna try to keep this bitch under 10 minutes. So do we start the 10 minutes now, or does the intro count as the 10 minutes?
No, let's start it after we set up the question. Okay,
so the question is, can you read it? Whatever the question was.
Okay, so this is a question that I screenshot because I thought it was a good posing of a topic that I feel like a lot of people kind of either think about or deal with. And it's Hope Dennis posted it like back in November and it said, open discussion. Do you guys think some creatives get most of their notoriety off who they shoot or off their work actually being dope?
10 minutes starting now. What do you think?
I think it's a really good conversation because I think a lot of the creators are, all of us naturally are chasing to shoot famous people or people with notoriety, and I think we want that for because it gives us a stamp of who we create for, but it also puts eyes on our work that people wouldn't watch necessarily on our own. Right, which I think are all valid points, but I think what gets lost in the shuffle is a loss of focus on, is that the most important thing, or is the most important thing like your style or your art or what you're creating or the pride in your work as like an artist versus chasing working with other people, you know? So I think that's why it's a good conversation. I think a lot of people deal with that because everyone wants to shoot for X, Y, and Z, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's funny because it's like there's so many photographers or videographers or whatever that create shit for people, or they create and they're not very talented, right? They're not talented, but they explode on the internet and they get all these fucking views and likes and all the shit that you could ever want. And they become verified and they have, you know, dumb followers and get all these brand deals and shit. And all they do is they happen to be at the right place, the right time or whatever, or they just snap off quick little shitty shots, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I guess I'm referencing people that always like in clubs with like rappers and shit. And they get like these.
They get the contacts film, like, you know, flash shot. And their profile's filled with them, and like, you know, that's supposed, and then their Instagram becomes like, oh, look, all these people I'm around, but it doesn't necessarily mean who they work with, you know.
But respect to the people that can be around all those people and like, let's just talk about photography, but to photograph those people, I respect to the people that can get real portraits of them. Like, they may be in an environment, yeah, cool, whatever. I've shot a million people, like, where I'm in some like insane event and there's just mad people. I'm like, oh shit, I just got a shot of this person or this person. Like, that's cool, but I think the true part where if that's your life, if you happen to be around that, say you're on tour with a rapper, right, specifically, and you're always in the mix with other people, other rappers, whatever, yeah, you can just take pictures of them doing like the raw BTS style shit, which is an art. I think respect to that. You can go get portraits or whatever and try to like design a look and create like a feel for your shit. But I feel like the stuff where it's like if your work is just constantly you just like flashing off shots of like someone at a bottle service or whatever, or like performing at a show and you just happen to see them pop up, it's like you're just firing and hoping for the best and then posting whatever you get. And sometimes people are posting this shit and it's dirty as fuck. Like the image is not
or it's
fire.
Soft. It's not even focused.
It's out of focus.
I think it's all about like at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think portraits are sick. I love portraits. Like, you know, you see some of the dopest portrait photographers that they're always around these people and they're getting the illest photos. But I think it's all about capturing. Like, you still gotta, just because it's a person in the photo doesn't mean it's good. Just because you shot a photo of that person doesn't mean anything more than someone who shot a really dope portrait of someone that no one knows, you know? I think it's all about capturing the moment. Like,
right.
if you're next to, you know, P. Diddy or whoever, and you capture a moment of him that like no one else has, that's like, you capture that emotion, you capture that moment that no one else got to see, and then that photo you get to hold that, and that represents a moment, and that means something. That's like, that's something, that's art versus like, hey, can you stand here? Boom. And that photo might actually be dope. Maybe sometimes you get the ill photos by just being like, hey, like even I did it on a music video shoot. Like, hey, can y'all stand here? And you just get them together.
Right.
And you can capture that, but it's still not the same as like pulling up with the camera in their face.
Yeah, it's just
this
like
is a whole different conversation. But
yeah. But I think that's part of it because it's like there's a difference and that's part of the art is being able to be in the mix, making the people that you're around feel comfortable enough to allow you to be around them and capture them in their like element, right? To be able to be by Diddy or whatever and just happen to capture him doing this and that or whatever is like he has to feel cool with you being there, otherwise they'll just tell you put your camera away. And I've been around a million artists, I tell people to, when they pull out their camera, put that shit away. Like they don't want you to, but I'm sitting there with my camera out. There's a reason why. It's because it's part of my craft. It's part of being able to create it's also not taking shit and just putting it out. Like I'm finding ways to put out the stuff that I know would be approved, or I've gotten it approved, or I've delivered it to them first before I ever share it. Like there's ways to build this trust factor, I guess, with these people, you know?
I think that was definitely a skill that you have, obviously, because of how many people you worked with, but I tried to learn from you, which is like, and everyone kind of has that comfortability, but you know, it's not about just having your camera out all the time and putting your camera up. You got to know when to put it down. You got to know when there's a moment that shouldn't be touched. Like, and when you're able to like understand those boundaries and kind of feel out an artist and feel out the space, then you will gain that trust with that artist, and you will be able to have more access, or you will be able to get even a truer moment out of them, because they're not going to feel like you're paparazzi. They feel like you're just a part of the space. So it's like, that's definitely a skill and something that's valuable. And that even will get you better photos of these artists or these celebrities or whoever you're shooting.
Do you remember that?
Sure.
Do you remember, was Tupac's, like, how many years has he been dead? There was like an anniversary or something recently, and I remember a photographer popped up, like an interview with this photographer, and he was a photographer to get the last photo of Tupac that was alive, right? And his story was crazy because he had photographed him before or something. I'm probably fucking this story up. I have a terrible brain, but somehow he had seen him before or worked around him or whatever, where Pac knew him, and they're in Vegas. And when they left the casino and they took off driving, he saw Pac walking out, saw him, was like, oh shit, let me go get my camera and try to get a shot of him. And so I think they pulled out of the car, and either he was in his car or he walked up to Pac and was like, yo, and he looked over and he threw up like the deuces and he got the shot of him, right? And he knew it was like a comfortable thing, like, I've been around you, I can go get you the shot. And the dude like recognized him and gave him a pose because he felt comfortable. Whereas if paparazzi came up to him like, Tupac, they probably wouldn't have gotten this image of him, right?
Definitely.
And then that's like the last photo that ever came out, and was through this guy and whatever relationship he had claimed, but also knowing when to go get, like, oh, you know what, like, I know I'll get a shot of him, I know I'll get a cool shot of him and he'll give it to me, and I know that
right.
that's
And that opportunity probably happened because there were moments in the past where he didn't run up and get a shot of him. He didn't run up and like invade that space. So this guy's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. He's been around.
Right.
Like, he's not offended because these people have cameras in their face all the time. So
Absolutely.
It's like, you can't just pull up with a camera. But anyways, that's a great conversation. But I think that started with the fact that it's more than just having that face. Like, oh, cool, you know, you got a recap video of this person, or oh, cool, you shot this person, you know, because that's not what we're chasing. And the reason why I like this question the most is because I heard a podcast from this that interview with this guy named Rio. Rio is like one of the like super dope like motion graphics,
VFX
director, artist.
So
worked
dope.
with a bunch of
he's worked with everyone. You gotta listen to his podcast. We'll try to find the link and put it in the description.
But he talked about how, you know, he's worked with like Mike Carson and Travis Scott. He's worked with Jay-Z. He's worked with Beyonce. Obviously, he's worked with Nike, all this stuff. And he was talking about how like he spent so much of his career putting value in other people's names, and so putting value in someone else's name is when you place your value on who you've worked with on someone else, right? So like if you think you're only dope, like you don't think you're cool or a good creator because you haven't worked with fucking whoever, right? And and once you feel like you'll be worth it once you get to shoot these people, right? And he was talking about flipping that completely and talking about how like you should invest in your name. So like the whole goal should be that people come to you because they want to work with your work, right? And so like, how do you build that? It's by not worrying so much, not focusing much on who you're shooting, is focusing on putting your stamp on who you're shooting. So like, just because you know what I'm saying, you shoot like you're really creating for a small, you know, a model or a band, whoever, but like you're focusing on your art and your stamp on that person, and you're building your style and your portfolio based on what you think is dope. Then the whole goal is when you invest in your name like that, then you will start to assimilate near these people that you want to shoot, because there people start coming to you for your work. And I think that was a really dope. I really love that point. And when I saw this question, I thought that was something that I wanted to talk about. Either I wanted to write about it, or now we're talking about it.
We can still write about it. But yeah, I agree. And it's also, at the same time, you can also, there's a way to do it parallel. Because like, obviously, I think that as, you know, you try to climb your ladder of success, having worked with these people will help you do that. And you just asked me, I was just talking to Cal Scrooby on the phone. You're like, oh, you known Cal since like working with riveting back in the day. And I was like, yeah, I've known him since then. I was like, I got him to be my friend because I shot a video of him on the roof with my drone. And so what I did was I literally made at the time I was doing drone selfies and no one else was doing them back then. And I did it, and that hooked him into being my friend. I still do that. Like we literally did that in Africa, I think, with B&J. Like I still do that shit. So that became part of my style. There was a way that I did it. So I was able to not only use my style, something that I felt comfortable creating enough that I could go and approach him and say, yo, trust me on this because you'll like it and it will work for you or whatever, it'll look good. And he did. And so like I've developed little habits like that have helped me along the way. So I've been able to like utilize those skill sets to grow in parallel with like learning myself and how I can create my art. You know what I mean? Definitely.
But I think the coolest in you know, like you've always taken your like you've taken your style and you're true to yourself always. Like even, you know, you took it and you took it with Q and that became a thing. And then now you went to B and B had never historically had content like we created. And somehow we ended up in a place where like we didn't have to conform to
right.
what was created before us. You know, we got to like your stuff was your stuff and my stuff was my stuff, but you
Right.
brought your style that they had never been seen before. Like
Right.
they never used that, and they never historically even liked that stuff.
Right.
But you brought the speed ramps, you brought that like epic motion, you brought all this like wide epicness that she thought was really dope.
Yeah.
That she had never seen before, and like that was because you. And so now it's like they want that type of stuff, but they didn't want it until you showed it to them. So
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I think that obviously, you know, being true to yourself and the whole point of this is like just be focusing on whoever you're shooting or whatever you're shooting, whatever you're doing. Like that should be like you can have the dopest video of someone that no one's ever known, right? And someone can have a recap video of a fucking rapper show, and it could just, and people could watch, more people could watch that video because they're like, oh, that's Rich the Kid or whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I got a photo pass and I shot this. It's Rich the Kid. Cool. It's on my profile. Like that little boost you'll get from that is cool, but like at the end of the day, it starts being apparent that, you know, these are just whatever videos versus, man, this guy only has 1,000 followers or whatever, but his videos are like I've followed a bunch of people who have small amount of followers, but their videos are dope.
Hell yeah.
I don't even need to know who's in them,
Right.
Because I could tell this kid has a sauce, and he's like, he or she is like putting, you know, their stuff into whoever they're creating, and then artists see that stuff, you know,
Right.
And that's how I feel like you build stuff, because when you reach out to artists or an opportunity comes your way, and they see your work and they see like, yo, this guy or girl has like a real style, and like I can really see this is like, I'm not seeing this other places, and it's not just faces. It's like, then you can get opportunities, or you never know, like the one time you do and you create something really dope that artist has never seen, that's doors that are open way bigger than they will just because, oh look, I've shot this in this person.
Right.
So I think that when we're asking this question, like, do people get notoriety of who they shoot? Yes, people get notoriety off who they shoot for sure. So like, if there's a profile that always has famous people posted on it, those people are definitely gonna get followers. Just the way it works, because
Right.
the photos are gonna go wide. But I think that the people that really go far and actually make it, actually get these big opportunities, are the people whose work are actually dope. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. Like, you could have 15,000 followers, 16,000, 20,000, whatever, because you posted all these dope stuff. But those people will get opportunities based off the people they shoot for sure. Just based off followers and like the notoriety, they'll get them. But you still got, when you get those opportunities, those may get you the opportunities, but you still gotta kill it when you
Right,
get
exactly.
there. And if you fuck up, then no one cares.
Yep.
And it's over.
Yep. I think
Versus like the practice of putting it into everything you have every time, you know? So
when you were talking about followers, I was thinking about and we're way over 10 minutes. How some of the best artists, like you said, you follow that don't have like a massive following and shit. And I was talking about this earlier with someone. They were like, "Oh, this person doesn't even have this many followers," and I'm like, "Yeah, but that doesn't matter." I mean, like, look at, and I just pulled up Dave Meyers, the director's Instagram. The dude has 77,000 followers, verified, which is dope. But 77,000 followers. He's done every video since the 90s. Like, this motherfucker is one of the illest directors on earth. And playing off that is like, he makes the illest content, but he's not getting follows. Whereas someone like Gibson or Adam DeGrosse and all these people that are killing it in their own lane, they have thousands of fucking people following their shit.
hell yeah.
But
and those are actually the dope people. They're dude, I'm telling you, like, there are people out here with that many followers, 77,000, who actually they aren't in out here like Dave is, of
No.
course. Like,
Yeah.
they aren't actually doing the shit that
Right.
everyone dreams of doing. And so, which is to say, like, that's an irrelevant, like, it sucks because, to be honest, like, there are people out here with fake followers. There are people out here just posting a bunch of shit, getting pictures to get followers. But at the end of the day, like, that's not the true standard of what
No, it's
is being
not.
dope. Being dope isn't having a bunch of famous people on your profile. Being dope isn't having, you know, this many followers. Being dope is scrolling through someone's shit, their profile and their portfolio, and really seeing like, damn, being inspired by the work, thinking that, man, this guy really has their style. This
creating
person,
your own demand for yourself.
yeah, creating your own demand, where someone comes to your profile and like, I want that. I want to hire Ben because Ben, like, no one makes what Ben makes like Ben. You know?
What was cool
no one
was
makes like,
I was with Dave for a Free Enjoy shoot with this Chinese artist named Kun, I think, K-U-N, that's how they pronounce it. And
Dave Meyers, by the
Dave
way.
Meyers, and he was doing some video, whatever. There, it was like all green screen. I think it's out now. You can find it somewhere. but it was all green screen, and I was just bored, and I had my dad cam, and I was on this dude's shoes because he had these really wild shoes from wardrobe, and I like zoomed out, but as I zoomed out, I was in like a squat position, and I'd stand up at the same time, so it made this really like weird
dolly zoom type stuff.
Yeah, it was like really weird. Like it was like a crane zoom, but it was strange, and I was far away, so it looked kind of wild. And I was playing it, and then Dave saw it, like looking over my shoulder, and he's like, "Oh, who made that?" And then I was like, "Oh, I made that."
Dad cam?
That was with my dad cam. He's like, "How'd you make that?" And I was like, "Oh, I just did this and this." He's like, "Oh, I'm asking because we did something very similar to that in my Travis Scott video, Sicko Mode with Drake." And I was like, "No, I know that shit was dope." Like,
yeah, when they're in front of the cars and they're getting bigger and zooming. Yeah.
And then he broke it down how they did all that shit and told me everything about it, and it was crazy. But it was cool having him recognize me doing something that I'm like, okay, it's kind of trippy and off the wall, fun, but this is the type of shit I make all the time. And then he just happened to see it, and it took me 2 seconds to make the thing, and he was blown away by it, which was cool. So it was like him seeing that versus like maybe he would have never looked at my Instagram or maybe whatever. Like, but there's always a way for someone to find you for your value and find you and see your work and notice that you're talented through whatever it may be. They'll just see it through all of your work. Every piece of work that you put out should resonate with like somehow with you. You should feel good about it. Like there's so much shit I put out that I hate, but I hate it because I can always be better, and that's good. But it's not that it's bad. I've always have that challenge with myself. But I think that if you're just putting out shit just to put shit out, but you're not really proud of it, then you're fucking yourself. You know what 100%. I mean? But all right, so let's see. What did we do? We did 17 minutes, Dave.
That's good.
So maybe we'll call it a 17-minute.
Yeah. Anyways, what are we saying? Let's wrap it. Let's get
up.
that point. That point in. The point that I was trying to make basically is, just don't get wrapped up like. I see people in the group like, the person that shoots X artist gets, is going to get the most interaction because that's just how the world works. Mm-hmm. But just be focused on what you're creating. Like, what is your stamp that you're putting on these people that you're working with, big or small?
Yep.
And make sure that's like, you're focusing on that. Make sure your name is something that when you sign your name on something or people come to you, they're going to know what they're getting in that. And I think when you focus on that, then you will get to the point where you're shooting, big artists. Mm-hmm. And then when you get those opportunities, you're going to be able to put a spin on something that, someone else could have done.
Totally.
So I guess maybe that's what I was trying to say.
No, what
you trying to say?
I feel like, I don't know, I always said what I was trying to say throughout this whole shit. That's all you guys get. The rest of us will be on our Patreon page. Maybe that's the way that we get more incentives on Patreon. We've been talking about trying to find ways to make our Patreon page mean more to everyone or have more value. So if anyone has any ideas, comment below. We've been kind of reworking it, and we're gonna up the tiers soon. But
stay on the lookout for the contest.
Man, the contest is about to be fucking nuts, specifically for our video people. But I also believe that anyone can participate in this challenge that has a phone. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna make a video about it tonight for the announcement. So be on the lookout. Shop BWNC.com if you want to pick up some of the new merch.
Pick up the hoodies.
Yeah, pick up the hoodies. Fuck.
And the mugs are gonna be tight.
I mean, everything's tight on the store, and it feels so nice. The shit is so soft.
My favorite is the creator. So if y'all pick that up, we made it so that we could rep Black with No Cream on set and out shooting and feel proud about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you should be wearing all black anyway when you're on set.
Exactly. But if you're wearing it and you feel proud to be a creator, create something dope. Send us a picture. Send us a video.
Like our boy Dakota did today.
Yeah,
I posted
the homie with the hoodie today. That video was crazy.
Yeah, and that's it. How you want to end it, Dave? Motherfucker spaced out.
Wait, I'm thinking about how we have to make a video now.
That's it. All right, now we're gonna make another video, and then we're gonna call it a night because it's been a long fucking day.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Goodbye.